Alas, I am returned. To be granted audience once more. Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Well. I seemed to have disappeared for quite a while. Yeah. Okay. So, story time. I always gotta start off with story times, you know. Always, that's the whole thing of this channel, right? Is I go on rants and tell stories about complete and utter nonsense, and yeah, I just talk. Okay. So, you know, I made my last video. I think it was a Zenless video too. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. It's been that long, right? I made a video. I think I made like a TikTok or two, and then I just like vanished off the face of the earth, right? Oh, and then in the background I'll just have the latest what is it called? See, I don't even remember the name of these anymore. I'll have the latest thingy McFight thing from Zenless in the background. Okay, anyways, okay. So, right, I uploaded that video, and then I uploaded that TikTok or whatever it was, and then I lost motivation. It's like hard to really pinpoint what I was like, where I was like, I don't know about like recording this, right? I think maybe it was because like the games have been kind of dry, I want to say, and I think that just kind of like unmotivated me, right? No, the last video I uploaded was actually the video on that indie game that was like Dark Souls and like Silent Hill. I think that was the last video. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of like lost motivation, right? I was like, oh, there's nothing really interesting happening. There was like the Fate stuff that was happening in like Star Rail, you know, MOCs and stuff. But I don't know, it just didn't feel very like fun to just kind of like make summoning videos, I guess. I don't think those are like all too fun unless you're like streaming, of course, then they're like fun, you know. And then the hard content stuff, like at least for Star Rail, some of it can get pretty tricky and difficult, especially because like I didn't have like Tribi, you know, like a top tier support. I think like the most recent DPS I summoned for was like Castris, before Archer and Saber, you know. So it was like a little bit tricky to beat some of the content, you know. I'm not like insanely like optimal with like my builds as of late, right? I feel like a lot of the time I kind of just build my characters and then I don't really touch them until like later. So I guess it's like a personal like skill issue, you know. But I don't know, I guess I was just like unmotivated to make Star Rail content because, you know, it just felt like I needed to pour more money into the game, which I kind of stopped doing like a long time ago. And I guess I lost motivation, right? Like there's still some of the hard content I beat, right? It just takes me like a few tries, and I feel like just constantly like recording and restarting just kind of throws me off, and it kind of like makes me focus a lot more on the game than the actual like commentary, right? I'll just like super lock in and just focus on game and like rotations. And then if like something goes wrong, you know, then I'm like upset and I'm like, oh man, like this guy should have hit this guy to get energy, you know, whatever, the whole spiel. So it's like a skill issue on my end. Definitely lost motivation for Star Rail though, like for sure. That game is like very hard to like, for me to sit down and record, especially because there's like no content, you know. There's like the hard events and stuff that reset like once a month, I think it is. Aside from that, there was like the Fate event, which was pretty fun. You know, I got to use just Saber and just spam Saber ultimates. It was like fun. Could I make a video out of it? Maybe. I don't know. It's like tricky. I feel like I maybe could have. I'm not sure, you know. We'll never know. I already beat it. But aside from that, there was like no other events. There was like that Bird Candy Crush game, which I never played the first time around when it was like out. So it was like new for me, you know, to play. Um, but again, like it just unmotivated to record for Star Rail. I'm not gonna lie. For Genshin, kind of the same thing. Um, I haven't summoned for any new units. I think the last person I summoned for that was relatively new was Shilonin. Yeah, because I skipped anything else like after that, if I'm being honest. I didn't get Chaska, I didn't get Skirk, I didn't get the cooking lady. I forget her name. Not Chevreuse, that's the musketeer one. Yeah, I forgot the cooking lady's name. But I did something for her, you know, and I just kind of I went for C2 Navia, which is like awesome. You know, I like Navia. But aside from that, like I haven't summoned for anyone. So like a lot of the content would just be like me using like the same old units as always, you know, and just kind of adding commentary to it. Which again, I have no issue with, right? But if I do want to grow the channel, you know, like I plan to, like I do want to have some variety in my like gameplay, right? That's why I uploaded that like other video. Granted, right, like this one isn't very different from a lot of the other stuff because it's just like the same old Zenless stuff. But I did just want to start with something I was comfortable with, something I knew I like doing, I could do, and like it was easy for me. So, you know, this is just this, you know, like I was like, okay, like I do want to get a video out. I may not have that many ideas at the moment for what I do want to upload, so I'll just do this, right? And, you know, so now we're here, right? For Zenless, I think Zenless is my favorite of the three at the moment. I like doing a lot of the hard content. I like the events. The events are super fun. Just like this game right now is like the top of my like priority list, if I'm being honest. I summoned for Yuzuha, like you guys can see like in the background. Yuzuha is super fun, super cool. I'm not sure if I'm gonna summon for Alice. I was seeing that she was really strong with Miyabi. I saw like a TikTok about it. That it was like, oh, these two are like both main DPSs, but they work really well because like they're the timers that the time you're on each one of them, and it had like the fastest clear for like that super hard mode where you like are timed or something like that. But yeah, like we'll see again. You know, we'll see. A lot of the events in Zenless are super cool too, super fun, super different. But again, it was just like once I got like out of that groove, out of that I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Once I got out of that like repeated motion of like, okay, upload Monday, upload Thursday, upload Monday, upload Thursday, right? And like TikToks and stuff here in between. I kind of lost that rhythm, I guess is a better word. I lost that rhythm, and then I kind of was like, oh man, like it's hard to get back into that groove. It's kind of hard to like start again. But, you know, slowly but surely, you know, I do want to start uploading again. I'm still uncertain if I want to like expand to other things. Like, I don't even know what other games I could play, right? Like, again, it's like hard for me to like really want to pinpoint something and like make content on it unless it's like super interesting to me. It's difficult too, I'm not gonna lie, because most of the time I say I play League of Legends, I play like my gachas or whatever, and then after that it's just kind of like a toss-up what like me and my buddies play. We've been playing a lot of Rematch, which has been super fun. Like Rematch is like a super fun game. What else do we play? Like Fortnite rarely we play. We recently just started playing Peak, which would be cool to record, right? But I want to do something like kind of more solo dolo, you know, just because I'm not sure how they would feel about being in like videos and stuff. So I definitely stick to solo for the time being. But again, the trouble is like finding the right motivation, finding the right game. That's what's kind of what like I'm like missing. It's just like finding that right thing I want to do. And the thing is too, like that is also hard because as like from like the small bit of research I've done is you want to fall into a niche on YouTube that you kind of like build around, and then once you have your niche kind of like community built, you want to like expand on that and like introduce like other things, right? If I had to pick one, it would honestly just be gacha games, and if I had to pick an even more specific one, it would be Zenless Zone Zero. The game's fun, you know. I talk non-stop about this game, so maybe more Zenless content I could upload, more story stuff, maybe doing the events. I just wish there was like maybe like a multiplayer mode. That'd be super fun. Just like play with random people, like beat bosses and stuff, like raid bosses. That'd be super fun. Guides is kind of out of the picture. Guides take a lot of research, and I feel like there are a lot of better guides out there than I can make. So yeah, it's just hard, you know, just finding the right motivation. But you know, you live and you learn, right? You live and I'll live and learn about like what content sticks, what content doesn't stick. The videos I was making on that hard mode where you try and beat stages all the way to like 99, that was like really fun content to do. But once I got to like a certain part, it became super difficult to like just beat it, and I was just kind of stuck at that point, right? And then I went into that like mode where I'm like, oh wow, I can't beat this, I have to really lock in. And then the quality in the commentary dropped, and then in turn it made the video not as good quality, not the quality I would have liked to present to people, right? I could always just do voiceovers after the fact, but I feel like that takes away from like the genuine kind of like in the moment reactions and expressions and like things I say or do, right? But again, well, I'll figure it out, right? That's the whole point, is I'll figure it out. I'll see what happens, right? Just gotta go with the flow, you know. My quote of the day: go with the flow. But yeah, that's kind of just like a small, I guess, 11, 30, 13 minutes. I think this video is. It's just like a small update of what was happening. You know, nothing crazy, nothing life changing. You know, just kind of lost that drive, lost that motivation. But you know, I do want to come back. I do want to start making content again. It is fun. I enjoy myself, you know, and it's relatively easy. You know, I learned a lot just from like these short couple months on editing and like thumbnails and stuff like that. And then here I'm like in the video, in the actual video, I'm like contemplating whether I should go for M1 Miyabi or Yuzuha's Wenjin. You know, I was like, oh, I'd like do a single summon for like for coming back, you know. And so here's the summon on the Wenjin, and what will it be? Oh, it is A rank, unfortunately. That'd be cool though to get the Wenjin, you know, in the video. But yeah, you know, long and short of it, I lost motivation. I'm back on track now. Hopefully I will start uploading again, make more TikToks, make more Zenless content, maybe HuoHuo content. I did just start playing that. We will see. Or if maybe I run into a game on Steam that I just happen to think is really interesting, I'll upload that. But for now, everyone, thank you for watching. Trolls, don't get blocked.